Okay, we have to skip the intro kind of because I don't really have much space on my phone. But hello, welcome to Pesterquest. I tried to film Terezi's, it was long, it ended up deleting itself. And right now we're just gonna dump the Tavros, you know? You're enjoying a brisk, head-clearing walk in the Alternian moonlight when the plot comes screaming toward you. Literally. You don't even have time for introspection. Ah! You turn your head to see a guy in a wheelchair whizzing down a nearby hill. He's got a phone in one hand, making it difficult for him to control his descent with the other. You quickly rush over in time to see him hit a rock and go flying through the air with an impressive arc. Ah! You bring the fallen wheelchair over to him, and he stares at you for a second, then pulls himself back into it with a grunt. Thank you, weird and ugly alien creature. Once he's settled into the chair, you look over the boy you just helped. He's lanky and scrawny except for his oversized horns, giving the impression of a boy going through a very awkward puberty. His wheelchair is simple and flimsy, and it looks like it's gone through a lot of wear and tear. Oh, introductorily speaking, I should say that my name is Tavros. Tavros. As is usual for you, the name sounds familiar, even though you're not sure any of the other friends mentioned him by name. You give him a proper greeting and then ask what happened, and he nods toward an old watchtower at the top of the hill. I was attempting to scale around the tower to acquire a rare fidusspawns go monster, what is named a Wolvenpine. It's ranked 8th or mythic Amethyst player class, which is one of the rarest of all, at least concerning monsters that can be found in lower blood neighborhoods. But it appears to be tragically out of my reach, no matter how much I believe my ability to pursue it. You don't know what a fetal spawn is, but maybe you could help? You've ring out a few monsters in your time. What? You know, you could help push them up the hill, maybe fight some giant horrifying beasts, the usual. Well, I normally am expected to do anything myself anyways. The only trolls who offer me help are those who live too far away to actually do anything of consequence. Which is fine, I get it, but it's pretty useless to me. Anyway, no. What? I don't want your help. On account of I will be weakening myself and failing to grow as a troll. I will just have to try again and again and get grievously hurt in the process probably. Don't worry. Tavros begins to roll back toward the hill. You know how the story goes. You'll have to spend your entire evening convincing this poor troll boy that it's okay to accept help from others. You launch into a gentle pitch about how helpful a friend can. Oh, well, if you say so, then I accept your help. That was easy. You follow Tavros up the hill. When he reaches the steepest part and his wheels begin to lose traction, you step in behind to give him a little push he needs. The two of you are successful in scaling the hill, and Tavros grins and taps at his phone. Oh, it's a phone game? No real monsters involved? Holy shit, this is new to you. Yes, Wolvenpine is now acquired. Thank you so greatly. Maybe the cartoons for regulars are right all along. And friendship is surely the greatest source of power to exist. Finally, someone who gets you! Roscoe wants a quick ride home, and he tilts his head in confusion. I already have a ride, always. I'm sitting in it. Not like that. You tell him it's hard to explain. Just trust you on this one. Okay, let's go. With that, you grip his chair and focus your energy and zap on over to his side. Whoa! Are you magic? Yes. Awesome. Do you know any fairies? No. Shucks. Tavros glances around the room. You follow suit. Your eyes settle on an advertisement for the theatrical run of Pupa Pan. A pinch of special stardust is all it takes to fly. Brought to you by Her Imperious Condescension's 19th favorite theater company. Reserved seating for hybrids. Hecklers will be cold. The rest of the room is rather plain and sparsely decorated. The floor is scattered with messy gaming supply. So, this is my hive. What do you think? Would you characterize this pad as sufficiently cool? It glanced at a framed picture of a fey trickster in booty shorts shore. Yeah, this pet is cool as hell. Excellent. I hoped you would. Your approval is most good to have. I thought you might be uninterested on account of being boring and kind of sad. Aw, boring and sad kids are your favorite, you tell Tavros. Wait, that sounds terrible. Ignore that. You mean that you relish an opportunity to make people less sad? Don't worry then, because I'm definitely sorrowful enough to satisfy. So I'm not great at talking either. So we at least have one point of failure in common. Thanks. Tavros flashes you a thumbs up and a wink. He wheels closer to you, and one of his scattered cards crunches under a chair that gets stuck, necessitating a bit of finagling. You must admit, you're a little surprised by the wheelchair, but in your experience as Alternia would suggest that their culture is not very kind to the disabled. Oh, it very isn't. There's a long story behind the fact of me being like this. Kanaya says not to talk about it because it hurts my self-esteem. Okay, that's fine. You turn your attention to some of his cards. Perhaps he can teach you. Well, if you insist, I will reveal to you my tragic backstory. I used to be more of a hardcore gamer who would do the extreme role plays. And I had a friend, or I thought she was my friend, who I did flirt with. Oh, you're incredible. You're familiar with flirt. You're a comely son of a bitch. Come to think of it, you've got a great flirt friend who you might love to meet. Well, I don't play anymore. I guess this old friend of mine did a bad thing to me, resulting in a chain of revenge that was really tragical. And essentially, the story is that I was thrown off a cliff, physically, and became heavily injured, which resulted in my legs not working. Oh god, that sounds awful. The culprit continues to hassle me, sometimes in ways which are supposedly remorseful, but mostly continue to make me feel bad. For instance, trying to make me learn how to climb the stairs, or fight better, or telling me I'm useless and awful because I can't. Although she also sent me this 4-wheel device, which helps me to not be cold. That's a nice thing, I guess, but although maybe she wouldn't have done that if Kanaya didn't say to. I don't know, she's hard to understand. Sometimes very nice, and other times extremely not, and I can't figure out how she truly feels. Wow, this girl Tavros is talking about seems like a real piece of work. You sure you're glad none of your friends are anything like that? Yeah, but maybe it's best not to think about her actually. Kanaya was right. I know how to teach you how to play. Tavros! Tavros freezes up instinctively. Oh no, that's her. The one who injured me. Oh no. Your spine ices over. You recognize the telltale exaggerated call. But how can this be? How could your dear, sweet, precious friend Vriska have done such horrible thing to this tracks? Maybe she did one thing wrong. But why? This isn't like the other kid she killed. You know Vriska is violent and volatile. She had to be to survive. But to harass Tavros after the fact, instead of just feeding him to her Lucis, it doesn't make sense. It makes you feel sick to your stomach. Hey Tavros, you haven't been answering my messages. We need to talk! Her voice seems to come from outside the window as it moves around the perimeter of the house. You glance at Tavros' stricken face as you hear the sound of keys jingling in a lock. Fuck, she has keys to his hive? Tavros groans and leans back in his chair. Vriska barges into the respite block and then freezes up. Huh? Hey? Hey, you say with an uncomfortable wave. Vriska seems uncomfortable. But I didn't know you know this dark. That's a friendship in progress. Tavros has told you some things about their past. Of course he has. Okay, listen. I know that sounds bad, because it is, and I get that, okay? But way back when, it was less than a week ago, that was part of a flap campaign that went way out the rails, and Tavros ended up getting thrown off a cliff. It was basically my fault. But that's all in the past now. Things are better now. I hooked Tavros up with this sweet wheelchair and everything. It's not that sweet. Shut up, Tavros. I'm talking about how terrible I feel about hurting you. Tavros cringes and tries to undercoat on his behalf. Why is Vriska here? And alright, I'm here to extend an olive branch, very monogamously so, if you ask me. Terezi and I are getting the band back together, not for Flarp, obviously. That ship has sailed, but they're going to whip the planet into shape, and we need all the help we can get. You spent enough time moping around uselessly. It's time for some action. You're in, right? Ah, no. What do you mean, no? I don't really want to do anything exciting or dangerous like that. Especially because you're going to be involved. I don't think it would be good for me to also be. Well, come on. Things are totally squared between us, Tavros. We all got hurt. Besides, I'm just trying to help you live up to your potential. You could be somebody. You could finally start living up to your legacy. I don't want to be somebody, at least not your kind of somebody. Tough luck, Totodor. None of us get that choice. If nothing changes by the time the rites of maturation roll around, you're screwed. The Trons will kill you in an instant. Vriska turns to you, her eyes wide, her fists trembling. Her frustrated glare barely conceals the desperation beneath. You agree with me, right? Tavros needs to shape up. He needs to be. It's time we put the past behind us and moved on. I'm just trying to help him. She leans closer. It's obvious she wants you to back her up. Oh no. You take a step closer to Tavros, and Vriska visibly deflates. Come on, Ken's drum. You can't seriously be on his side. Yes, you can be, and you are. You think you understand now. You see how Vriska took her suffering and bitterness and passed along. You see how, under beastly tutelage, she learned to sink her fangs into her prey and tell herself she was doing it for their own good. And these two kids, you see a microsome of Alternia, of hurt kids hurting kids, until finally the buck stops at the kindest or weakest among them. So no matter how much sympathy you have for her, you can't stand idly by and let Vriska continue this cycle of hurt. You tell Vriska to look at Tavros, really look at him, and ask herself if her help has done anything. Isn't this the kind of suffering that she and Terezi want to prevent? Right now, the best thing she can do for Tavros is leave him alone. Leave him alone? You don't get it. None of you do. If I leave him alone, he's toast. Seriously, have you not figured this out by now? You've seen what this planet is like. You think we can just flip a switch and everything is okay? He's a worthless loser living in a world that hates losers, and that doesn't change. He's going to die a sad, pathetic death. And you and Kanaya and everyone else, you're just enabling him. When he croaks, it's going to be on your head, not mine. So if you'd rather hang out with Tavros in his make-believe fairyland, be my guest. Some of us are still going to be living here in some real world. You and Vriska spend a while staring at one another. All you can muster is a look of pity, which only seems to incense her further. Her face scrunches up, and then it goes steely and flat. Her voice is icily calm. You two have your fun. I'm out. Vriska slams the door shut as she leaves. Tavros exhales a long sigh of relief. Well, that went pretty well for an encounter with Vriska, all things considered. I only feel somewhat terrible about who I am. Slowly, gently, you place a comforting hand on Tavros' shoulder and tell him that he deserves better than this. It's not his fault. Vriska is difficult. Yeah, Kanaya says that too. I sometimes almost believe her when she does. The room is silent except for a faint wriggling noise coming from one of the balls on Tavros' floor. You don't know what else to say. Would you enjoy playing some fidusspawns with me, perhaps? As a manner of distraction. Oh, fuck yeah, you tell him. Let's spawn some fetuses? Yeah. Your flop experience inured you to alternating in game design, so you're only mildly nauseated when Tavros shows you how a physical version of fiduspawn works. Chitinous purple critters explode from gooey orbs and infest plushies before bursting out into the form of large, monstrous with more limbs than you're comfortable with. Also, you have a handful of cards which boost your attributes or allow you to interfere with your opponent's monsters. There's all to keep track with here. For too long, the room was full of chittering purple monstrosities and queasy-looking host plushes on the verge of birthing even more abominations. You are lost. That you think you're winning? Your creatures appear to be doing a better job preying on his host plushies and spawning more of themselves. You've got a meter in the corner that keeps going up while his goes down. That's good, right? You think it's good, at least where victory is concerned. But you're more concerned with the dejected look on Tavros' face. He doesn't seem to be giving the game his all. You ask him if he's okay. No. Okay, you just came out and said it. My fun has been stemmed, I think, by my thoughts about Vriska. He wheels himself over to the window and looks despondently out. I used to like her a lot, and admire her for her many qualities that were good, such as being very confident and having skill at games. And now I just hate her. Or I should hate her, but instead do not feel those feelings. In their place, I feel very conflicted and bad about myself and wonder if there's something wrong that I can't feel as angry as I should, or make myself become strong enough to talk to her properly about my feelings. It's just a big mess. He glanced again at the posters lining Tavros' walls. Sprightly fairy girls with confident smiles, long messy hair and blue color schemes. The resemblance to Vriska is uncanny, but superficial. She's never going to be like the girl from his posters. That's just not who Vriska is. But for a sad, hurt boy who likes to dream, she must seem so painfully close. This is a problem too big for you to entangle right now. You need to redirect Tavros' thoughts. You close your eyes and you ask your intuition, what should you do? From the darkness, you reach into your muddled memories and catch a glint of cold iron. When you open your eyes, Peep of Hand stares back at you. He would have you believe that faith is all it takes to fly, but you think Tavros could use something a little more material. You put a gentle hand on his shoulder and ask him what you can do to help him spread his wings. His metaphorical wings, that is. It's not like he could ever sprout real ones, or thought as absurd. Tavros sighs. I just wish I could live more independently, I guess. Take charge of my life and become less under Vriska's thumb. You think Tavros could use some better friends, real friends. I do have some. Nepeta is very kind to me often. Gamsey and I like to throw down some sick rhymes, and Kanaya tries to help with Vriska. But there's not a lot they can do when they live far away. And as nice as my Lucis is, he is unable to help me with all my issues due to his small size limiting him to only moving and carrying small objects to me when I require them. The simple fact is that I didn't build my hive with the expectation of one day using a four-wheeled device to navigate. Can Tavros move to a better hive? Can you help with that? No. As bronze, the stipend I received is not enough to cover such things. Even this four-wheeled device, which is highly basic compared to some high-blood models, would have cost me over a wipe's worth of savings. A few changes are available to me, economically speaking, especially if I want to not alert drones my unsteadiness for troll expectationness. You see, if money is the issue, that's not something you can help him with, at least not directly. But others who can. You tell Tavros that you're going to step out for a moment to fetch a mutual friend. He seems briefly surprised when you return with Kanaya. I guess you don't blame him. This strikes you as a pretty rare pairing, conversationally speaking. Oh, Kanaya, it's nice to see you in person unexpectedly. Wow, my house is terrible looking, sorry. But you look nice. Yes, I do. How are you faring? Has my advice regarding the construction of an imaginary friend helped aid your self-esteem? Well, I haven't really got to try it yet, so no, it hasn't, I guess. Kanaya expresses a sigh. Okay, well, let's get directly to business. I've brought some materials with which to renovate your hive. Oh, please advise us as to how to best redesign the place to suit your needs. Tavros' eyes water up as he sniffles, leaning forward in his chair. Really, you would do that for me? Despite it taking a large portion of time and effort and presumably money as well? I don't really spend my stipend on much besides fabric. And I intend to twist Vriska's arm until she offers a portion of her flapping treasure to foot the bill too. And of course I do it for you. Any less would be a rejection of my helpful sensibilities. Kanaya says it with a neutral tone and straight face that there is nothing remarkable about it, but Tavros nevertheless breaks into a grin. Well, thanks. Give me some time to develop ideas on how to properly jack this hive up, and deliver the most utterly dope and pimped up changes. This is gonna be so great. You give Tavros the requested time and then begins to work in earnest. You weren't sure what to expect, but the construction process proved smoother than anticipated. Kanaya brings a set of alien devices, which she claims to have borrowed from a sea-dwelling friend of hers. One converts raw materials into strange substances that remind you of fruit gushers. Kanaya fells trees with her chainsaw and feeds them into a machine, and before long you have a trove of gusher things. The other device expends the gushers to modify buildings. It has a holographic click and drag interface, much like The Sims played in real life. You find the construction software to be incredibly handy and also eerily familiar, but honestly you find everything eerily familiar these days. Yes, it's very convenient. Some reconstruction has been an important part of troll culture for as long as history remembers. Most do not know why, although to me the reason is obvious. Preparation for the game, which we will now no longer be playing due to outside interference. Wait, she knows about that? Yes. I figured out what was going on a day or two after you visited me, but I thought it was prudent not to get particularly dramatic about it at all. That was very thoughtful. Yeah, I try. Kanaya finishes feeding logs into the first device and begins to manipulate Tavros' hive with the other together. You are in a clockwork team. Tavros provides directions, Kanaya implements them with her stellar sense of design, and you provide moral support by standing around looking cute. Okay, yes. Push that shelf to the left. Yeah, like that. Wait, actually, right. No, okay, go back. A bit more. That's almost good. Now make it a little higher. Yeah, now lower. There, right there, and... Yes, perfect, I think. Okay, actually, can you go back to where it first was? Ooh! And there's a little ramp to get into the... This is... In the end, it takes until the next day to finish construction, which is actually a great time. You're expected to have to zap forward once or twice for the sake of narrative brevity, but with the Alternium build tools, Tavros' hive is swiftly renovated. It's far more spacious than it once was, with ramps and rails aplenty. Under Tavros' guidance, he widened hallways, lowered corners, revamped bathrooms. It's like a brand new house. You don't have a ribbon to cut in celebration, so Tavros summoned some bizarre fidusspawns creature to shoot confetti all around the entrance of the hive. It's all gross and sticky, and you hate every second of it, but he's having fun. After that, Tavros spends a while just exploring the hive. He wheels himself through each block, awed by the ease of which he can navigate the space. By the time he returns to his swipe block, his grin is radiant, and you think he likes the new place. Oh yes, this pad is now genuinely frigid. It makes me feel more confident, like the world is my arrival jewel container. Like I could say to Vriska, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, bitch. Okay, I won't say that probably, but I could. Actually, maybe I will say that as well as plenty of other deliriously red things, which I have avoided saying. Okay, that's probably enough to tell him. Kanaya is staring icily at him, but it doesn't seem to notice. You suggest that it's a good time to settle down. The sun's going to be rising pretty soon. Right. Well, we still have some moonlight. Would you like to stay for a while, Kanaya? Play some games? Oh, no, that's quite alright. I'm afraid I have duties to attend to at the moment. I left the dress in the oven. Kanaya blinks in and carefully maintains her pose. It's made out of clay, you see. I'm getting experimental. That would make sense. Well, goodbye. She smiles at Tavros and shoots you a pointed glance. You take it as your cue to place a hand on her shoulder, concentrate to her height, and send her in a flash of light. When she's gone, Tavros wheels you up and nudges you on the hip. So, regarding Kanaya, this could perhaps be misreading the situation, but when I reach deep inside and tap into the marvelous power of the self-esteem, it tells me that I'm very right and smart. Did you see the way that she was smiling at me? That wasn't a way to suggest amorous inclinations. He wiggles his eyebrows furiously in your direction. Oh, geez, you told Tavros that's just, what friendship looks like. She's not his type, trust me, you say. Drat. Oh, well. I think there is a saying about this, that the sea has many fish in it. Now that I am feeling better, I think perhaps I will one day go fishing for a quadrant or two. Well, to start, it's going to take some time for this kid to figure out what genuine self-esteem is like. But just like the Prospectian clouds part of reveal a brilliant sky in blue, you think Tavros is on the verge of seeing the sun. The moon? The metaphor could work better on Earth. Tavros, can be more than he is, and he doesn't need to change to do it. When he offers you a smile, there's a spark of compassion behind it that tells you you're already worth the world. All he ever needed was someone to believe. And money. He also needed money. So, would you like to perhaps play a celebratory round or two of fidusspawns with me? I am feeling much more prepared to enjoy a game, and perhaps think that this time I'll proceed to crush you with my incredible might as a fidusspawns breeder. Except I mean that in a nice way, like that of a friendly challenge. Or if you accept. The word friend in that sentence is all you need to hear. Yay! Victory! Oh my god, it's a Demogorgon. Okay, till next time for Aradia.